Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French. Thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out. Special shout out to all my cadets, some of my subscribers out there. If you guys are not a subscriber and your first time here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Got tons of videos always on the way. You don't want to miss any of those notifications. Plus, it just really helps me out, helps you out, helps everybody out. It only takes 1 second to go ahead, just click on that little red word, little box, whatever it is that says subscribe. Today is the Monday show here on Rob's Arcade. And again, if you're new to this channel, I like to hang out at least like twice a week with all my subscribers and my fans out there. It's kind of like a little talk show slash journal slash vlog slash whatever you want to call it, or just kind of hang out with you guys, get some stuff out there, talk about the weekend, see how your weekend was, and just kind of give you guys stuff to talk about, give you something little something to chew on, whether it be something you take away, discuss with your friends or with your family. Something if you want to discuss with me, and just hop down to the channel and leave me some comments. I'll always go down there and read those and check those out. Or if it's just something you want to take away internally and just kind of chew it in your own head throughout the day. Like I like to kind of leave you guys with a little topic, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first off, I want to say happy Monday to everybody. Kind of give you guys something other than homework and work to think about. Although I think school's out right now. We're getting really close to Christmas, so school's probably out at this moment. And hopefully you guys, like I said, made the best of your weekend. Maybe got out there, saw the new Spider-Man movie. Look forward to a review from me. No spoilers, but I will be actually seeing that movie today. Hopefully, that's the plan, to see it today. And I'll come back and let you guys know what I thought, and just kind of talk about that franchise in general. But like I said, it's the Monday show. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Let's go ahead and kind of jump into this, because I got a fun one. I got a fun little thing to talk about, and I got my friend Buck Martin joining us today.
Ew.
You recognize his lovely singing voice from the intro to the theme song. And today's going to be hanging out with us just because it's always, I don't know, I feel like it's more fun when, you kind of got like a friend hanging out and talking about stuff. And I thought about you a couple weekends ago. I wanted to talk about this, and I think we wanted to kind of hang out and get together, but, life gets in the way sometimes. But how you been doing? You been doing good? Been doing all right?
Yeah, got a new job, living the dream.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh man, it's fantastic. I can't talk too much about it honestly because I had to sign an NDA and all that stuff.
Right,
It's not
right.
that serious, but it's pretty cool. I'm excited.
No, yeah, you were. I was just asking in general earlier. I texted you, and you broke it down for me. What your day is like. I was like, "Fuck, man, that's pretty awesome."
Hell yeah.
Feel free to have some wine or some green juice or some scotch or whatever I got over here. I'm just gonna sit down on this couch here. Do this kind of like late night talk show style, like the Conan O'Brien show. It's kind of like I said, having guests over, having people here, talking, just kind of chilling. It's funny. Like I said, I wanted to do this about a week ago or so when Carrie Ann was visiting her aunt. I pretty much just spent the weekend here. Well, she wasn't visiting her aunt. I think she was dog sitting. Her aunt was dog sitting her kids' dog. Carrie Ann was dog sitting Marlene's dog. It's a big, crazy, like, hopscotch thing going on. But I was here by myself, and I was going to read, like, a ton of comics and just play some video games. And I was saying earlier, I watched a bunch of movies I hadn't either seen before or hadn't seen in a while. And I got kind of caught up in a funny evening of just like ironic events, kind of. Uh, what I mean basically was like, so I was basically just watching old like Eddie Murphy movies.
Oh hell yeah.
So uh,
What, movies or stand-ups?
his movies, a lot of his like 80s films. I think I started with Beverly Hills Cop 3, which I hadn't just seen in a while. Like usually I watch the first two generally. I don't really watch the third one, and it was fun because I was sending videos to her friends. We were all like a big chat. Like I was talking about Dapper Day. We just did Dapper Day at Disney a couple of weeks ago, and her friends are really cool. We have like a little chat on Facebook, and we'll send messages and kind of coordinate events and different things, and just kind of goof around or whatever too. And so I'm watching this movie, and it's very much like based off of like a Disney-esque Wally World or something like that. And they've got like Uncle Wally, like Walt Disney, and all this stuff. So I'm sending videos sometimes of the movie because it's so. There was a great bit at the very end where there's already been some shooting and some stuff going on. Like Eddie Murphy's like set. Eddie Murphy's already set it off, you guys, and so there's like smoke and explosions, and like the senior detective shows up. He's like, "What the hell happened here?" And he's just got his handgun, but they have those like the bad guys all have like machine guns, so they're like kind of scattered around or whatever after the first fight. And somebody comes through on like one of those like Skyliners that carry you across the park, and he's got a machine gun and he's shooting down at the cop. And the whole time there's like songs playing too in the background, like ba da 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 Wally World, welcome to Wally World, Wally World, whatever. And so they start shooting down, and the cop picks up the machine gun off the ground and just like ba da 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 starts shooting back, and kills the guy in the Skyliner, and he falls to his death. And Wally World and Wally World. Will somebody shut that goddamn song off? And it's just like it's like, yeah, Disney be like that sometimes. So I was sending little videos and stuff like that to them, and just kind of like whatever, hanging out, and it was fun. But while I was on my phone, I got kind of caught up in some YouTube, and I think I was like checking notifications, and then I've been really watching a lot of Bill Burr and his channel. He's a great comedian. He's like one of my favorite comedians actually, and
He's great, man. That
yeah,
is F for Family show is amazing.
yeah, I've everything I've been watching recently. He's been talking a lot about that, and that's something that I've been wanting to check out. I've seen some clips and stuff, and it looks really, really, really good. And like his writing is amazing. He's such a funny comedian that I think it's just in its last season too. So I really want to check it out. It's all on Netflix right now. Plug in Bill's show, man. Check him out. It's really good. You heard it here. So I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and he does a great podcast with other comedians, and like his wife pops on there sometimes, and he does great racial bits. Like he's really good at like all kinds of like just poking fun at black people, white people, like everybody in general, idiots across the board. Like doesn't matter what your color is, he could just he loves to pick stupid shit apart. So his wife is black though, and she will call him out on stuff. Like they have arguments all the time over like Elvis and like all these different things, and he's like always like, how many times do I have to be like the what is it? The oppressor, like, oh geez. But then she'll bring him into check. She really does, and she makes some really great points. And I was watching one the other night, a couple weeks ago, and it was them giving relationship advice, and his wife Nia, very beautiful, very smart woman, calling out the racial stuff in that movie Into the Blue with Paul Walker, and Josh Brolin, I think, plays a bad guy, and you got Jessica Alba, which Bill Burr points out is not white. She gets whitewashed a lot of times, I feel like, because she's fair skinned, but she's not a Caucasian woman.
They call them daywalkers.
What's that?
They call them daywalkers. I don't know why. I've heard that somewhere.
I thought that was vampires.
I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. I guess if you're like, just fair skinned, I guess, yeah. Interesting. Huh. So, yeah.
It's just like it's a nickname for being able to pass as white. They
right.
call them daywalkers.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's
like,
not racist.
That's not. No, it's awful, too, because like there was another actress who was just recently, I'm getting dizzy. Here we go. Who was just recently the same thing. Like she was cast in a movie. I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, it was the beautiful Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Yes. I need some more whiskey to be able to say that name. But she gets whitewashed a lot of times. It's like she is not a white woman. Like, you know, they're like, oh, they cast her as a white woman in Caps or a Wonder Woman. It's like, no, she's not. She's not white people. It's not like they put, oh God, Sarah Jessica Parker or like Michelle Gellar or something like that. Uh, you know, uh, love Hewitt and that up in Wonder Woman. That'd be great. No, so yeah. But she was pointing out some of the stuff, and like I was like, I have to watch this video. I have to see where this is going. Like I've seen this movie before. I don't really remember anything racist in this movie. So let me see what this is all about. And she did. She made some great points. She brought up the fact that the movie basically takes place in the Bahamas, the Caribbean area, and like there's no black people in it, you know, for the most part, and that you know just even like you know not again being racist, but just living there, working there, you would see like that would be like you'd be surrounded right by people of color.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, his Bill Burr's response to that was, "Well, you know, they're like on vacation. It's a white vacation movie." And she's like, "No, no, no. They live there, honey. They like he's got a boat. Like, you know, he's a resident." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I guess you're right. Shit." And then he's like, you know, explaining that, well, they're all white people on vacation, blah 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 blah. And then she's like, "Well, then when they finally do show black people, they're the criminals, they're the thugs, you know, the pirates." And
Right.
there's one line she pulls out that is it is pretty messed up, and it's the guy's like they're in a hurry, they got to go, the thugs, and he's like looking at his page or his phone or whatever, his pager. He's looking at his phone or whatever, and we're going to go back to the
Get me on my
80s.
two-way.
We'll go back to the 80s in a moment, Robert. Chill out. So, see how I did that segue there? Pretty cool, right? So he pulls out his cell phone or whatever. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta go. My baby mama's tripping about her weave, or she's got to get a weave, or something like that." And it's pretty fucked up, right? It's kind of like a lame line. But right away, I'm thinking like, well, like they're thugs, like, because she's like, you couldn't give them something better than that, like, you know, oh, we got to get out of here, like, you know, my son late for whatever, I got to pick my son up for band. But I'm like thinking like these are pirates, these are thugs, like, I think they're trying to establish like they're kind of like shitty characters, you know. But
Right.
it is kind of racist. I'm like, that is pretty like lame. And then I'm like, well, did a white guy even write this movie? You know, so I started IMDbing this thing, and it's like the whitest white guy wrote that movie. And then I try to rationalize it by thinking, well, maybe he didn't write that line. That like maybe the you know the actor thought it would be funny in a sense, like you know
It was
like
like improvised or something.
right, yeah, that happens a lot. Like oh, let's just throw this in here, and you know like whatever. But then like at one point again, I'm like, why am I even defending this movie? Like I said, this she's a very smart. She makes some amazing points all the time. Anytime I listen to her, whether it's about um, equality or sexism or just like relationship advice in general. She's super. So I'm like, I'm gonna take her. Like, who am I to say, right? She knows what she's talking about, dude. Almost like the ghost of racist movie past came to visit me
You'll
that
be
night.
haunted by three racist spirits.
Yes, dude, it was so unreal. So okay, I'm watching Eddie Murphy, right? Finished the first movie, and uh, I remember I was watching um, 48 Hours the other day, and I'm like, let me go back and finish that. And I'm like, I didn't even start it really. Like I remember I got like to the very first part of that movie, it was like the desert scene or something, and just got like sidetracked. So I was like, I need to put this on. Let me check this out. Excuse me. It started over from the beginning, and within moments, my jaw was on the floor. My eyes were wide as saucers. It is the most racist thing I have ever witnessed in my life. It's basically like almost like an hour or so of Nick Nolte just calling Eddie Murphy the N word.
Nice. Oh no.
It was so crazy, dude. Yeah, oh no is right. That's like all I kept saying. Oh no, like oh no, oh no. It was uncomfortable, man. It was really almost uncomfortable. By myself watching this movie. You know, with like I said, Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. And it made me think of like one moment, like where back in, it's like back in like '94. So I was actually dating. My first girlfriend was black as well, or African American black. I don't know. Black Lives Matter, so I guess it
Black.
doesn't really matter.
Black.
Black. So this young black woman I was dating when I was like, or girl, I was 15, 14 years old, and so we were watching Higher Learning, in the theater, which I don't know if anybody's seen that movie out there. If not, check it out. It's really good. It probably holds up really well to this day. It's all about equality and like diversity. So it takes place in college, and it's all about like white kids and black kids and lesbian kids and how they fit in and where's your place and blah 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 blah. And I remember it was at the Putt Putt. There was that theater right there on Midlothian, where we all hung out as kids back in Virginia. It's like a Friday night. Her mom drops us off, and there was like, I remember like a group was like 4 or 5 young like black kids hanging out there, like these young dudes about our age, maybe a little bit older, like more like they probably drove themselves. They're probably like 16, 17. And it was one of those things like, we had a pretty diverse school, and what the heck was that?
What was that?
Did you feel that?
Yeah, just a random explosion.
Now there's like sirens going on.
What the fuck?
I don't know. That was really crazy. You felt that too, like the controller shook or whatever for you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's so weird. I'm gonna look in the telescope real quick. That is so weird.
It's awesome. I like that we both stood up and went to the window. My goodness, what
I
was
can hear something, but I can't really see anything out here. I just want to go out there and like check it out. I'm kind of scared. Yeah, I'm gonna go up front. Let's go up front and check it out. So yeah, so like I remember like, we went to a pretty diverse school. There wasn't always like a whole lot of like, problems with different races and stuff growing up in my school. But I remember like walking up to these kids, just being like, oh man, this is going to be a problem. Like, just that kind of vibe. They're too much like, oh wow, here we go. Whoa, what the heck happened outside my place? Is that your bike? Is it good?
Yeah, bike's fine.
Is my helicopter okay? Whoa. Wow.
It was weird.
It's, speaking of Eddie Murphy movies, I feel like some kind of 80s movie just went on out front of like Lethal Weapon maybe? Just went on right out front of my place here. That's crazy.
Too old for this shit.
But yes, I remember, like I said, like these kids, man. Again, not to be racist myself, but they were like, they were like showing like a Wu-Tang or like a Mobb Deep video. I was like, this is just gonna be a problem. But sure enough, like they were catcalling and like they didn't really like start anything, but it was just definitely like, all right, babe, just keep walking, kind of a scenario. Like, don't make anything out of this kind of a thing. And all I remember thinking is like, man, I hope they're not in the theater with us. Sure enough, they were. And I remember like every time like they had the racist like white guy in the movie with like the skinheads. It was like every time like one of the white guys did something fucked up, like they would like eyeball me kind of and like look back. And I just remember being yeah, I was like, oh, so it was so awkward. And so like when we left, they were kind of like making cat calls at her and stuff like that. And then there was a group of young black girls that every time they looked back at us, were kind of like eyeballing them, like, why the fuck are you worried about them? Kind of a thing. Like, it was awkward. I remember like that was like a really awkward movie experience at 14, 15 years old, watching Higher Learning with an interracial relationship and like just a lot of stuff kind of going on in the theater. And like, I don't know, it was kind of tense. But nothing as tense as watching 48 Hours by myself in my bedroom together. Like I said, it got to a point where I was just like, dude, all right, we get it. You don't like this guy, just take him back to jail. Like, you broke him out of jail to help you solve this case, and all you're doing is for, like I said, for like 45 minutes just calling, like, making up stuff. Like, he called him, like, I think, like, spear chucker, which is awful. But then he called him, like, watermelon, which didn't make any sense. I'm like, that's not even how, like, that...
That's not even how it works.
That goes. Yeah, he's just, like, making up shit. I'm like, dude, like, at least, if you're gonna be racist, get the slurs and all the types and stuff. Oh, this is so bad. Right. But yeah, so anyway, I'm watching this movie, and all I kept thinking too is like I couldn't really get into it and really watch it because I kept just thinking to myself like, there's no way this movie would get made today. Like there's no way like you'd have like George Clooney and like Kevin Hart. Like Clooney just called him the N-word for like an hour. Like you'd have to do it the other way. It'd have to be like Kevin Hart calling Clooney, getting him out of jail, and calling him like a honky for like an hour or so.
It couldn't be a comedy. It would have to be a serious, like a drama.
Well,
That's
I
the
think
only
it
way
could.
to accept it.
I think it could work as a comedy, but you would have to flip it the other way to make it a comedy. But yeah, if you're going to do it like today, yeah, it would have to be addressed like an actual like issue where like, yeah, like, you know, this is how, you know. And this is the whole thing. Like he goes like an hour into it, once it's all said and done, Nick Nolte's just like, "Ah, man, I didn't mean all that shit I said about you chucking spears." And it's like, and then Murphy's just like, "It's cool, man. Let's go solve the case." Like, what the fuck? Like, no, like this is like, there's just like, it was really, but like once it stopped, like I was like, all right, the second one, a lot better. Like, there's no, like real, overly racist shit in it. But the first one, man, it was like the most racist movie I've seen since like the original Teen Wolf movie. Which I do think is really like at that point, I think that was the most racist movie I think I'd ever seen in my life. Was the like outside of like Teen Wolf, yeah, outside of like actual like movies about race and stuff like that.
So it's
like
been a long
slavery.
time. I haven't seen Teen Wolf in a while. Why is Teen Wolf racist?
I'm glad you asked, Buck. So there's a great moment where, well, for one, like, all right, so it was one of those things where, like, I kind of rediscovered the film again later. You know, you have, like, the DVD revolution and all your old favorite films somehow wind up, you know, on DVD or whatever. And I found it at, like, Target or Walmart, double pack, Teen Wolf 1 and 2. And went home, watched it, smoked a little bit. And sitting back watching this great classic. And I love Teen Wolf growing up. Like I still do. I still watch it. It's kind of hard to watch it now for this one part. But I used to love watching it growing up. Like Michael J. Fox, oh my god. You know, Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, which is also racist. We'll get to that in a little while. But Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, Family Ties. I mean, I used to love all of that stuff, you know. I was like 8 years old. We were the same height. So, but no, I love Michael J. Fox. I still do. And,
I used to surf on Vans. It was cool.
Right, yeah, totally, yeah. You know, if this movie was on and you try to change the channel, we'd have a problem. Love me some Michael J. Fox. So anyway, I'm like really looking forward to watching this movie. But like at some point, what is this? Oh, I thought this car was all sprayed up. At some point, I realized like, you know, this movie, even though it's about this teenage werewolf, kind of like a coming of age teenage werewolf movie, it kind of centers around a lot of teenage basketball, high school basketball. And there's not really a whole lot of black kids in the movie. Not saying like, okay, like, you know, oh, you got a movie about basketball, it's got to have black kids in the movie.
Right.
Or R4 is
only have black
telling
kids.
us like, R4 is sending out his watch what you say alert, Rob. You're getting edgy. No, it's about time to wrap up this first part. We're going to keep going though. We're going to do a second part to this video because this has been a lot of fun. And I got more to talk about. But there's not a whole lot of black kids in the movie. And then finally, again, we do see one. It's like the moment when Michael J. Fox has like, he's Teen Wolf and he's like getting into his groove and getting into his like stride with it. And, oh, I love seeing that, by the way. That's a great shot that I have going on right there. He's like walking down the hallway and he walks up to like the one black kid in their school and they just start like breakdancing to each other. You know, and it's like so fucked up. It's like not even like a handshake. I don't think they do a handshake. I think they just like breakdance. We got this dude down here like cowering. He's like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on down there, man? This guy's going fucking nuts in this car, dude. But yeah, it's just so fucked up. I'm like, this is so wrong. Like, this is like they're saying like, it doesn't matter, you know, who you are, if you're a lawyer or if you're a doctor or whatever, if you're black, you're just gonna like walk up to another black guy on the street, just start breakdancing, and that's how you would communicate. It's like saying, hey, what's up, man? How are you today? Oh, I'm doing good. So, but yeah, anyway, I got more racist movies coming up from the 80s and the 90s to talk about. More action with Buck here. Hopefully this guy didn't cream his pants, and hopefully you guys won't go anywhere. Come back for part 2. And remember, guys, this is not goodbye, unless you're Buck, because he just died. But it's simply to be continued. Remember, until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Do you know any racist movies?
Yeah, leave a comment. What's your favorite racist movie? Or maybe least favorite. I don't know.
Dad, how does that
be a
work?
better option?
All right, guys, we're back in a bit.